What's up, YouTube friends? My name's Carrie, and this is my first YouTube video. I'm actually just filming an introduction for the video that is going to follow this clip. It's just going to be a walkthrough of my garden. It's a little bit older, a few months before now actually. My boyfriend decided to just kind of throw me into my first garden tour, and which I need him to do because I'm kind of shy with these kind of things, but I'll get more comfortable with it, I'm sure. But yeah, so this YouTube channel is probably going to be a whole hodgepodge of things that I'm interested in and what I kind of want to share with the world, and just kind of my goal is to build a community of people that are also have this, that hold the same interests and values as I. But I don't mean to get too deep into things as of right now, but just know that I definitely plan on videoing my garden and showing the progress of that for anyone who's interested, but also for a record for myself so that I can keep track of how things have gone in my gardening experiences, I guess, throughout my gardening experiences. But also, I love to eat food. I enjoy cooking food, so I'll definitely show some of that. And I live in a school bus, currently converting the school bus. My boyfriend and I are going to be starting a channel, showing kind of as much as we can of that process. We have not videoed the entire thing, but that's going to be on a different channel. But you'll see some of that abnormal life aspects, I guess, in my videos on this channel. And yeah, we have 2 dogs. We live on a property in Franklinton, Louisiana. Should I say that? I don't know. Franklinton, you won't find me. It's okay. But anyway, yeah, we live on my friend's property, and she just lets us stay there. We hook up our electrical right there right now, and use her well water and garden on her property. And we're just trying to get ourselves ready to travel and kind of see where the wind takes us, I guess. But at the moment, everything's kind of a work in progress, as are we in our own lives all the time, I guess. But yeah, that's my introduction. Let me try not to make it too long. But I hope you enjoy my garden tour, my first garden tour, and there will be more to come. So hopefully you stick around. Okay.
What a bitchin' view to wake up to, right? So it's a beautiful day today. It's gonna be a gardening type of day. So I'm about to go over and walk over to the garden, to be redundant, and see what's up with Carrie. I can't ever get her to sit down and do a video with me, so I'm just gonna walk up and you know, start asking her questions and shit. So here we go. Going to the garden, ask her some questions, make her feel uncomfortable. Oh, there she is. We're coming right up on her. Oh, there she is. Look how fucking cute. Bending over in the garden, checking out some plants. What's up, Curry? You gonna do a little garden tour today?
Garden tour.
Tell the people what's going on with the garden? The garden's a mess.
Yeah.
Well,
I just now attempted to self-pollinate or hand-pollinate one of my squash plants.
how you do that?
So this plant had a male flower. I just picked it off, and I peeled away the petals to expose, I think it's called an anther.
An
the male
anther?
part. Yeah, because it's got the pollen on it. Pretty sure. I don't know what I'm doing exactly. And then I just like fiddled it around this.
you fiddled the flower with the
with the anther of the other flower.
Oh my
This is
goodness.
the female flower
So
here.
graphic.
Yeah, it felt pretty inappropriate.
I didn't expect to be making this kind of a video today.
I didn't expect to be procreating plants this morning or whatever.
Ooh.
But yes.
So we got some squash.
We got some squash.
What are these?
This is basil.
Basil.
I don't know what kind.
And is that basil?
That's peppers. Those are peppers.
Oh my god.
This is an Ozark pepper. That's a pepper. That's an eggplant. It's a ping pong.
Are those spicy peppers or are those just like
Those are
mild?
like large, sweet, red, kind of, I don't know if they're considered bell peppers, but they're larger, sweet varieties as far as I know.
And the
I've
eggplants?
never tried them before. Yep, this is a ping pong eggplant. It's like a long, thin
A ping pong eggplant.
ping pong.
A ping pong.
You might be able to play ping pong with it. And this is another pepper. This is an albino.
Albino.
That's another albino.
Those are albino peppers?
Yep, that's what they're called. That's like the, variety, but I've never had most of these. I've just started them from seeds because I thought they either looked cool, sounded like they tasted good,
Right.
more peppers. This is a Black Beauty eggplant. It's like the most popular style eggplant. It's like the ones that are like real.
The ones that you like find in the store
Fat.
most of the time?
I don't know if it's like those exactly, but they're very like thick, bulbous. I don't know if you know what that.
Bulbous.
But yeah, while the other ones are like long and thin, these are like big hefty ones, I guess.
Mm.
It's got lots of leaves. I have it dusted with diatomaceous earth because there were some little flea beetle bastards that were trying to eat them.
Little fleetles.
Flea beetles. I haven't seen any on here since then.
That's good.
Look at all the leaves it's got. It's all good at holding on.
Yeah,
to
it's looking
diatomaceous
good.
earth. This is another type of basil, a different type than what was up there. Pretty sure that is a holy basil. I've never grown that variety before, but I only started 2 different types of basil seeds, and I got 3 different types. So apparently one of the packets had a different type of basil seed in it. So that's cool.
Bonus.
And I really like this one. I don't know what it is, but I got it free.
And so, do these plants all help each other in any way, or are they just hanging out together?
Yeah, so supposedly, I mean, the basils and I have marigolds on the other side. Once they get all, like once the marigolds get to having a bunch of flowers, like the fragrance from both of those plants is supposed to deter pests from coming to the other plants in the area because they just don't like the smell. I guess if we can smell something, the pests like can't stand it because it's overwhelming.
Oh, wow.
So they stay the hell away. You don't usually have pests on like basil plants or marigolds. This is
We
a
got all
ground
mater
cherry.
plants. Oh, ground cherries.
Yes, I got ground cherries on the corners here. This
Now,
one's bigger.
is that a cherry or a tomato cherry?
It's like it's a tomato variety, or like it's in the tomato family, but so it's not in the cherry family by any means. But you can come and like check this out. It produces these little husks that are like soft and fuzzy right now, and like the little
Looks like
fruit is inside
the
of them.
tomatillo husks.
Right, so they're in the same family as the tomatillos and the tomatoes. They've got like fuzzy hairs on their stems and stuff, just like tomatoes do. I've never grown tomatillos, but I'm pretty sure they do too. And once these are ready, like you don't pick these off of the plant ever. They will fall to the ground, hence the word, the name ground cherry. And the husk will be like all crunchy, crispy. And you peel it away, and then you got a nice little sweet treat in the inside. I've never grown this variety. I started 2 different types of varieties this year. One was one that I grew last year, my first time growing them, and I liked those a lot, but I got a different kind to try both of them, like kind of side by side, and my other ones did not germinate, so I just got the new kind. Well, okay, these are supposed to be, really good anyway, so maybe these are going to be better.
Okay.
And over here, another ground cherry.
Ground cherry.
Little marigolds. The marigolds are having a hard time in life because there are 3 little girls that live on this property, and they are just
Basically little boys.
they are very
They
destructive.
destroy things.
You'll see with the one up there, I'm not sure if it'll make it, but while these were in their little cups before they got transplanted into the garden, the kids just loved to pick them up and carry them away and pick off the flowers and run away with them and like drop the plant on the ground 100 times. So they've had a rough start to their life, but I'm sure they'll make it now.
They'll be alright.
Yeah, they'll be okay. Marigolds get huge and they're quite resilient from what I've experienced. So yeah, this is just another hodgepodge of, we're kind of calling
same.
this our Italian garden because everything here could go on a pizza or in a pasta.
Oh
very easily.
yeah.
So yeah.
And then this is all maters around along here. They were all
Well, we
in
got some
pots.
bumblebees working hard over there
Oh
on the
yeah.
tomatoes, on the flowers. But yeah, we've got a mixture. This one here, some of them have their labels still. Other ones, like the ink wore off of the little popsicle stick, and so we don't know. Or the children came and plucked the popsicle stick and threw it somewhere else. So some of them are going to be just a fun
Bunch
little
of fun.
mystery. Yeah. But this is a Paul Robeson. I've never tried this variety, but it's supposed to be a pretty fat, delicious one. And it's a very lovely looking plant. It's doing quite well. And we've got lots of little like cherry ones. We've got tomatoes on almost all of our plants as of right now. There's
So
tomatoes
cute.
there, tomatoes here. These are purple Russian tomatoes. I'm pretty sure that they are like a Roma style tomato. I have a lot of them this year. I had like 4 of them that survived and
Are they kind of
Transplanted.
droopy because they're like stressed from being like transplanted?
Yeah.
They were all very mature. They were this size, sitting in pots like back there.
Yeah.
And
They just
it
did
just
really
wasn't a
well
good
really
situation.
quickly.
Let's give them the lowdown on like the garden situation. So this tree right here is blocking out a lot of the sunlight for this spot. This spot is the only spot in the whole yard that has the most amount of sunlight.
Yeah.
And we were going to chop this tree down to get more sunlight, but it ended up being expensive and it took too long, and all the tomato plants were growing up out of their pots. Had to transplant them several times, so it was just too much. And so we were like, all right, well, forget it, we're just going to build the garden beds anyway.
Right, because obviously the plants are doing really well. They're outgrowing.
Yeah,
their
they're
pots,
blowing up.
and they've been in this spot. So I'm like, okay, I thought that it did not get enough sunlight over here to grow and produce food, but clearly with every one of our tomato plants being like 3.5
Monsters.
4 feet tall and having tomatoes on them, I'm like, I think it's gonna be a good spot. I think
Should
we
be
can,
good.
I think we can grow some stuff here. And
Also,
clearly we're growing some stuff.
Last year, we made a garden bed out of pallets, repurposed pallets, and just nailed them all together, which
We
was,
tore them apart first.
yeah, tore them all apart, which sucked, and then nailed them all together, which sucked, and then,
Not the problem.
yeah, and then where'd you get the idea for this one?
So I follow a girl named Jess with Roots and Refuge Farm on YouTube. I subscribe to her and have been obsessed with her garden and her gardening methods for about 2 years now. And she posted like just a week and a half ago that her husband came across these blocks here that are about 2 inches, or they have these like 2-inch slots in them that allow for you to put like 2x4s, 2x6s, whatever.
Any 2x.
They're about 6 inches high, and so you could, I guess, 2x6s fit perfectly in them. But you can stack them, you know, however tall you want. You put some rebar in here that was just like laying around on the property conveniently.
Yeah.
And
We were literally like, oh no, what are we gonna put in the middle of these things? And like walked over to a place that we always go by, and we're like, oh, there's rebar right here. Sweet. It's like the universe just like did a little care package real quick. Like, oh sweet.
the like perfect amount for this one bed.
You're right.
I don't know what we're gonna do with the other ones just yet, but
Yeah, we might have
figure
to
something out.
do that one on our own.
But we got two. We have two 2x8s stacked upon each other, and we formed this 16x4 bed.
So freaking easy.
Yeah.
This took a third or less of the time that it took to nail all those crappy pallets together. Like, in freaking insane how easy this is. This is the easiest garden bed I've ever heard of in my entire life. Totally worth it.
Is it like Lincoln logs or whatever?
Yeah, Lincoln Logs, Legos, Duplo blocks, Mega blocks, any of that shit.
Super
It's-
easy, just bigger scale.
Yeah.
But yeah, highly recommend. We went with pressure treated wood. I know that a lot of people say that it's not okay, but then I heard that it is okay, that they just use pressure to treat it, and I don't know exactly the method, but then they also coat it with like copper is what I've heard. I don't know.
If we die after we eat this food, we'll let y'all know. Or somebody
Definitely.
will.
Yeah, I'm not here to give advice yet because I haven't seen how this has gone, but it should last a while. And hopefully, I mean, if we're consuming more chemicals from this than we breathe on a day-to-day, then whoops, but
Yeah.
I don't think so. I don't think that'll happen.
Should be good.
Yeah. But I mean, it's produced a very nice looking bed that I think is going to last for a very long time.
And what did you do for the soil?
So because this is, what, 16 inches deep, I was like, I don't need 16 inches deep worth of soil in this, because since I have gardened once before, I know that it compresses down a lot, and those plants don't need that much room to put their roots. So I laid down some cardboard actually a while ago. Whenever we kind of figured that we wanted to start gardening in this spot, we laid down as much cardboard as we could just to kind of kill some of the weeds and grass and whatnot in the area. We didn't have as much of a space covered as we really needed, but so I laid down the cardboard anyway, and we wet it down, and then I got the idea from some guy who I don't know his name, but he was on YouTube. I have to find it if we're going to be posting this. But he suggested that you just go and find things around your property, like logs that are being broken down, and like just limbs and leaves and grass clippings and other types of mulch and dirt and whatnot, just native soil, and fill up like half of it, or depending on how deep your bed is. But that's what I did. I did about 6 inches.
And this property is absolutely perfect for that, because there's all these oak trees, giant oak trees that have been dropping leaves for like 100 years. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know, nobody's been raking up these leaves and putting them in piles. Like, it's just been decomposing leaves for like a very long time.
Yeah.
So it's all really nice, rich stuff to throw in the garden.
Yeah, all around the base of any of these trees, especially the large ones, there's like at least like 4 or 5 inches thick of like leaf mulch and tree bark and all of that that's just been broken down. It's super rich, but nothing can really grow there because there's not enough sunlight that comes through. So I just went and kind of transplanted some of that stuff into my garden. And there's plenty of worms and all kinds of life in it. So, and like loads of mycelium that was like holding a lot of it together. And one piece I actually got was like 8 feet long, like, I don't know, 1.5 feet wide. It was just like a blanket of like decomposed like bark, like from like a big tree limb that had fallen, I guess, a while ago, and it was like being held together by just mycelium and other life that had just started breaking it down and repurposing it, I guess. And I just kind of picked it up and laid it in here.
Ecosystem transport.
Yeah, and I'm spotting something that I don't like.
Wow.
On
Yeah,
here.
I actually just saw that a second
Look at
ago
all
myself.
those little worms.
Are there worms on there right now?
Yep.
Ew, gross.
Those are little caterpillars that are devouring this little leaf.
A bunch of freaking
If I were to
dicks.
leave them and not kill them right now or throw them somewhere else, they would devour this whole plant probably eventually.
We're
I don't know what
vegans, but
kind
we
they are.
genocide bugs.
Yeah, that was a tough thing
If you're
for me
trying to
last
eat our
year, but-
food, was it?
Yeah, it was initially, like, but until the ants started to, like, once the ants started taking over my garden bed last year, and then the, like, tomato hornworm started showing up left and right, and cabbage worms and all that shit, I was like, okay, it's either I'm eating this food or they're eating this food, so, I gotta
Maybe one day we'll
them.
start a garden just for the bugs.
maybe, but, like, there's enough foliage here, they can,
Yeah, they
something
should be
else.
alright. I don't think there's any lack of bugs.
I'm sure eventually we'll have, you know, like with us feeding what we don't eat from the garden to the pig, she'll be dropping all kinds of seeds, and there will be all kinds of tomato plants and cucumber plants and all kinds of other things just volunteering over there, and that could be for the bugs.
We'll introduce y'all to Miss Piggy. Actually, her name is Moo.
Miss Moo.
One of the
She was
little.
named by like a 1.5-year-old, but she was very confident that that was her name. So
She just kept pointing at her and going, Moo! Like, no, that's a pig, Henry.
Who is that?
Moo!
But I think her influence was all the cows that we are surrounded by.
Yeah.
Living out in the country in Louisiana. I'm sure country area in any part of this country is loaded with cows. But
This bee needs to tell all its friends to show up. There's just this one bee got this whole garden to itself.
it might be the same bee that has come back like every single day.
Hello, Mr. Bee.
Yeah, that's why I went ahead and hand pollinated that squash. I have never had good luck with squash. We have vine borers that like to destroy my squash plants anytime that I've tried. Granted, I haven't been at this gardening thing very long, but anytime that I've tried, They look like they're doing great. They're growing so fast. They are putting out all these flowers, and then they just drop dead. I find a little hole in the base where the vine borer had made its way in and was killing the plant from the inside. So I took this opportunity whenever I saw all of the open flowers. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and self-pollinate, because we are not loaded down with bees right now. We've got a few, you know, flying from here to there. We've got some butterflies, but we're not loaded down. So apparently that's a way that you can ensure that you're gonna get a harvest and get an earlier harvest, because I guess a lot of times maybe the pollinators aren't out at full swing whenever you just have your garden going. But yeah, there's a lot that we could cover. We could talk forever. But,
Yeah, I mean, I think this is a good, you know, that's good for an introduction to the garden. Obviously, there's tons of other shit going on around here, but like, yeah, unless we wanted it to be a 4-hour-long video of all the things happening.
I guess I didn't say what the rest of the stuff that I put in this garden bed to fill it up, because obviously I did not just put
the
limbs and the mulch and everything.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of sticks and leaves, really. It should be fine.
That would maybe work, I don't know. But so I did that, and then I actually had all of the dirt that was in, all the soil that was in my garden bed at at my old house that I used to live in. That's my mom's house. So I was able to go there, and with my wonderful boyfriend and my brother, we shoveled all of that into my brother's truck and transported it over here. And because I was like, this is good dirt, I'm not just going to leave this here. My mom's not going to garden. So we salvaged it, and it actually filled up probably the next like 2/3 of this bed. And so I was very impressed with that, very happy about that. It was loaded down with fat earthworms and all kinds of good life.
Big juicy worms.
And then the rest, we just found a guy down the road who had some garden soil that it's not veganic soil, unfortunately. We're not to that point yet, but I don't even know if it's organic actually, so I don't even know. But
It's got poop in it.
yeah,
He shows up and dumps it, and he's like, now y'all know there's poop in here, right? like, oh shit, are you serious? Take it back.
Like, I did talk to him before, and he told me, I asked him what it was composed of, and he said it was cow poo and like straw that had been broken down. I was like, well, it's not fresh poo, right? It's been rotted. And he's like, yeah, of course. But he felt the need to emphasize that it had poo in it. But we're not going to talk about that guy.
Yeah.
He's an interesting fella.
Yeah.
But we got 5 yards of this garden soil delivered to us.
For dummy cheap compared to some places.
Yeah, we had places around here that wanted to charge $80 a yard. We got this for $25 a yard, and the guy was like right up the road, and he came and brought it in his dump truck. So that would have taken forever.
As weird as he was, it was a really sweet deal.
Yes, absolutely.
I'll deal with that weirdness every time.
Super grateful, despite yeah. He told us that we should put cans of like aluminum cans, beer cans in the bottom to fill up the space, so we don't have to use as much soil.
Oh, thanks.
I'm sure that would work.
We'll totally try it.
But not exactly how we want to do it. But yeah, and then after we got everything like got pretty relatively level. I know you're supposed to like level out the garden soil so that you don't have any like pockets that hold water, but after we leveled it and then we planted in it, and then it was getting late, so we just kind of sort of push things around. It might not be very level, but I'm sure it'll be okay. And then we just laid down a bunch of leaves that had been like raked into piles on the property, and that'll be our mulch. That'll help hold in the moisture so it doesn't dry out. It'll help prevent weeds from forming. It'll like protect the temperature of the soil, because otherwise it'll get really, really hot, and if all of the young plants, their roots are at the top, that'll supposedly like singe them, and it's just really stressful for the plants. So mulch is a great thing. If you've got trees around your property, you've likely got free mulch. So yeah, that's what we did with that, and we're gonna do the same thing with this bed today. Except this bed's gonna be loaded down with tomato plants, because we've got lots of them that would greatly appreciate a bigger space, I think. And
so much tomato plants.
yeah.
Is this the one
We've
that
got more
Lulu
than just
destroyed?
tomatoes, but we've mostly got tomatoes.
Poor flower. Is that the one Lulu destroyed?
No, she ripped it out. That one's a goner. These are lemon bee balm plants.
They're so
that
pretty.
are on their way out right now, but
Yeah, they're looking a little rough, but they look like Dr. Seuss flowers or something.
Watching
like truffula
them
flowers.
come up and then unfold was just so fascinating, and the bees really do love them. We see like all different shapes and sizes, different colors bees like I've never seen before.
Look at this freaking thick ass cobweb.
That is, yeah, there was a fat, scary spider in there at one
I
point.
saw him. He ran over here when I moved the plant.
Oh,
It's cool. You can see the little hole right there, though, where he lives. You see it?
Yeah.
The little tunnel web. Ooh, quit fingering it.
Looks like it would be a fun thing to finger.
Ooh, yeah.
All
right.
Yeah.
Is that it? We got
I guess for
peppers, we
now.
got squashes, we got tomatoes, we got herbs and spices and shit.
Sunflowers.
Thyme.
That's rosemary.
We can't. Oh, the rosemary.
There's thyme. Thyme is the one that you threw the board on top of.
Oh yeah.
Or little thyme. We got sage, variegated sage, parsley.
Parsley.
We've got chocolate mint over here.
Chocolate mint.
We've got some coxcombs. These are going to produce some really fun flowers. We started these from seed. The flower is starting to form right there.
Ooh, it's all red and stuff.
I don't know if you can get it.
Kinda.
It's like red and fuzzy and stuff. Yeah, you can see it a little bit. It's going to get huge, supposedly. We're going to separate those three, though. They need their own space. We've got basil there, marigolds. We plan on doing some arched trellises made from these cattle panels here. Got that idea from Jess from Roots and Refuge.
Thanks, Jess.
It's gonna look beautiful if it looks anything like hers. We're gonna do a couple of those and have some melons, some cucumbers on some of them. We're gonna try growing bitter melon because it looks really cool and it's super healthy for you.
Is it bitter?
It's super bitter.
Ew.
Yeah. But it's really good for you, man. That's what the Japanese and like Okinawas eat and stuff that are like 100-something years old.
Oh my god.
I am determined to acquire a taste for it because I know it's one of those things that you acquire a taste for. There's things that you can cook it with to like mask to take away some of the bitterness.
Right, it doesn't have to be pure bitter.
Yeah, and I think the variety that I got, there's different heirloom varieties, and I think the one that I got has much less bitter than the other ones do. So we're gonna try that one out. I've got some butternut squash that just germinated out the ass in the worm bin because we ate a butternut squash, threw the seeds in there, and then we had like hundreds of butternut squashes popping up. And my friend who we live on the property with was like, we cannot let these all die. They want to live. We got to give them a chance. I'm like, okay, fair enough. I love butternut squash, so let's try to grow it. I've never done it before. So we've got that. We've got a sweet golden melon we've got seeds for. We've got a tiger melon. I've never grown a melon before. I've only grown watermelon. I mean, no, cucumbers, which are technically melons, but...
Oh, what? Just long melons.
Yeah, they've got even longer melons, actually. They've got crazy looking melons.
Is a zucchini... No, a zucchini is a squash, isn't it? Or is it a zucchini?
Zucchini is a type of squash.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of types of squash. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't want to get into the specific names because I don't understand all of them exactly. But we've also got cucamelons, which is another thing that I had never heard of until I started watching Jess on Roots and Refuge. They're like these little, like grape-sized little melons. They're called Mexican sour gherkins. So I have no idea what they're supposed to taste
Gherkin
like.
for a
but
jerkin.
they're super cute. And yeah, I'm excited to grow them. We've got amaranth that we're growing. Never grown that before. And I've never grown a sunflower. I've got one sunflower plant that is growing right now. We're going to have to sow some more seeds. We've got beans over there in pots, bush beans. Planning on keeping those in pots because they do pretty well like that. And we've got okra that are struggling to deal with this cool weather that we all love, but it likes the blistering heat. So it'll do really well this summer here in Louisiana. But I've never grown that before either. I'm very excited because apparently they have beautiful flowers and they get really large and produce heavily. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything I'm missing, but
I'm sure there is, and there will be even more that we've done when we come back to talk about the things that we've missed.
Yep, there will be things happening, new things happening, and
Alright.
we'll cover that as we go.
And there you have it. A garden tour from the sexiest gardener that ever lived.
I'm sure I look super sexy right now since I haven't even looked at myself before.
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh my gosh, I'm scared.
Alright, cool. Peace. Fuck yeah.